everybody, and welcome to the weekly scopes from the 15th to the 21st of December. Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's weekly scopes. If you've heard this before, you can skip, but this is just the intro on how I formulate these astrology weekly readings. I use astrology and my intuition to give you advice how you can practically use the knowledge of the stars and the planets and apply them to your life. So my weekly scopes are all based on GMT time and on Vedic Constellational Astrology. So now I'm just going to explain what Vedic Constellational Astrology is and how it differs from Western astrology. So the precession of the equinox is sort of like something that happens in astronomy and astrology, where the Earth's axis undergoes a slow circular motion over 26,000 years, and basically this means that this motion causes a shift in the position of the equinoxes and also the calculation Vedic and Western astrologies use. So around 2,000 years ago, the tropical and sidereal Vedic astrology signs of astrology were aligned in the same position. So if the sun was in Scorpio in Vedic astrology, it was also in the constellation of Scorpio in Western astrology. But because of the precession of the equinoxes, this has caused a gradual westward sort of like drift of the tropical Western signs. So basically these signs and the Western signs shift 1 degree with every 72 years. So as a result of this ongoing shift, when Western astrology says the sun is in the constellation of Pisces, it's typically in the constellation of Aquarius. Still, this is because the degree, orb and the date for Western and Vedic astrology are 24 degrees, 24 days apart. So in Western astrology, the sun enters the constellation of Pisces around the 19th of February each year, but actually the sun doesn't arrive into the constellation of Pisces until the 13th to the 15th of March each year, and Vedic astrology takes this into account because it's based on the fixed star positions, and Vedic astrologers use sidereal calculations. So as a result, Vedic astrology takes into account the actual positions of the constellations in the sky at any given time, and also considers the precession of the equinox, adjusting for the shift in the position of the equinoxes over time. But in terms of Western astrology follows the tropical zodiac, which is based on the seasons rather than fixed star positions. Western astrologers also do not directly account for the precession of the equinox in their calculations as well, so this results in slightly different calculations and interpretations that are given whether we're using Western astrology or Vedic astrology. So yeah, as I said, Western astrology uses specific dates, so every year, regardless of where the sun actually is at the sky, the sun moves into Pisces around the 19th of February. So yeah, this discrepancy, this misalignment between the tropical zodiac and the actual positions of the constellations has led to a discrepancy between Vedic astrology and Western astrology. So I consider the actual where the sun and the moon are and where Mars and Venus are at any given time, and this is how I formulate these sort of like weekly scopes. So yeah, thanks for listening to this, and let's dive into this week's weekly scope. Okay, so now I'm just going to explain what parallels and contra-parallels are in astrology, because I use them in my chart interpretation. So declination in astrology is the measure of how far a celestial body is, such as the sun, whether it's either north or south of the celestial equator. And the celestial equator is an imaginary line in the sky above the Earth's equator, which us astrologers use in our interpretation. So parallels happen when two planets are on the same declination. Either both planets are on the north side side, or either both planets are on the south side, and this alignment increases the influence of the involved planets. So it's similar to a conjunction aspect, as it amplifies their energy, making the effects of the planets more pronounced. Contraparallels, on the other hand, happen when two planets are on the same declination, but one is in the north and one is in the south. So this alignment creates tension, which is similar to an opposition aspect, and it can lead to conflict, challenges and inner struggles between the energies of the planets involved. So contraparallels highlight areas of friction or contrast in our lives, urging us to find balance between the opposing forces at play. When transiting parallels and contraparallels happen, they can sort of like trigger significant events, shifting consciousness and periods of intense growth and transformation. So I look at these aspects closely during chart analysis to understand how planetary energies interact and influence each other during a specific time frame, to pinpoint key periods for personal development, relationship dynamics or career shifts, and other shifts like karmic shifts and stuff like that. Because I just find using contraparallels and parallels gives me more depth in interpretation, so I use them. So contraparallels and parallels in astrology serve as markers for potential challenges or breakthroughs, guiding us towards more self-awareness, love, acceptance, understanding, forgiveness for ourselves and others, and shifts in consciousness and growth. So overall, just a shift in our mindset if we allow for it. So parallels and contraparallels just kind of like provide valuable insights into the complexities and nuances of the astrological interactions between planetary movements. So yeah, that's the end of what contraparallels and parallels are. So this week we've got two aspects that are sort of like guiding us. We've got Mercury making a parallel to Venus, which is the same as a conjunction, and this is exact on the 18th of December at 11:30 p.m. and leaves us on the 22nd of December. And Venus is contraparallel to Uranus, is exact on the 18th of December as well at 7:15 p.m. and leaves us on the 25th of December. So Mercury's parallel to Venus allows us to communicate and bring more balance and affection and respect into our conversations with others, from the social to the intimate business ones. It encourages us to express our feelings more clearly and openly, and can help us repair conflicts, arguments, look at the facts, check details and bring more understanding into a situation. We can also be more creative this week, and relationships that are both romantic and platonic can help us sort of like deepen our connection to our artistic plans, and also to our partners, using art or being creative, or sharing our hobbies with our partner, maybe feel more of a gamer than art, and just doing things that can just sort of make the other one happy, the little things. So yeah, we can also feel more inspired this week to share our thoughts and feelings through writing, talking, singing, dancing, poems or anything else that allows us to express our emotions and exchange ideas and thoughts and things. But we have to also make sure that we watch out for compromising just for the sake of it, or for the sake of harmony, to keep the peace. So sometimes it's good to do that, but when we do that over a long period of time, resentment builds in and passive aggressiveness can build into a relationship, and this can just make them toxic. So it's important for us to avoid overextending ourselves, and to make sure we try and be as clear as we can with our communication, and we really strive and work for transparency in our interactions with others, and just use this energy to really bring balance into our relationship, starting with balance into yourself by understanding your own emotions and feelings and thoughts and motivation behind your reactions and actions as well, and make sure that you value your own voice and the voice of others as well, and this energy really gives us the fertile ground, the energy this week to nurture ourselves and our relationships, and we can deepen our bonds with those who we cherish, who we care for. So this is really good energy to really just embrace the festive season, I guess, as well. So Venus's contrapower to Uranus brings excitement and unpredictability into our relationships and values, and we may feel like a stronger desire to break free from routine and to seek out new experiences, and we can have more of a desire for freedom, and this can manifest in both personal and romantic connections, and it kind of encourages us to explore unconventional paths and embrace being spontaneous as well, and we may just find ourselves drawn more to people and social situations that challenge our standard and our perspectives right now, and this can lead to intriguing conversations that can really make you aware of your true wants, needs and your desires as well. But negatively, because we can have a more of a need for independence this week, there can be conflicts in all our relationships, especially if partners or friends feel neglected or challenged by your desire for novelty, the new right now, or vice versa. We can just want to have a good time, we may not want to go deep, even though the energy this week is pushing us to do so. So we just need to watch out for impulsive decisions or starting drastic changes at this time that can make you blow up your whole house, and then in a week or two you're like, oh, what did I do? So just make sure you're doing and saying and being all you wanted to do and be, and don't let the need for excitement and newness overshadow deeper emotional needs, like the need for stability and care and whatever it is you may seek. So balance any need for freedom this week with a commitment to those you care about, and this will be crucial to navigating any surprises that can come up, and just make sure you maintain clear communication this week. Have some fun, but remember that sometimes it's better to compromise than to break, but sometimes it's better to break, so So on the 15th of December there's a super full moon. If you want to know more about that, check out the separate audio. The moon void of course starts, the moon also enters Gemini. Mars's parallel to Jupiter is exact at 1:43 p.m. The Sun also makes a quincunx to Uranus at 2:44 p.m. The Sun also enters Sagittarius at 4:41 p.m. and Mercury also goes stationary direct at 8:57 p.m. So a lot is going on today. Okay, so the super full moon in Taurus, and the moon moves into Gemini shortly after, blends the stability of Taurus with the intellectual curiosity of Gemini, and we may find ourselves struggling with the duality in our emotions and seeking comfort in the familiar, while also simultaneously yearning for new ideas and communication. It's a good moment to embrace both your desires for security and your need for mental stimulation, allowing creativity and social interaction to enhance your personal growth. The Sun also makes a quincunx to Uranus, and this signals a time of adjustment and tension between your core identity and the call for change, and this may provoke unexpected insights or disruptions in your daily routine, so watch out for that. And as the Sun goes into Sagittarius, and again just like with the full moon, I've also done a full in-depth special about the Sun moving into Sagittarius, so it allows us to have more invention and exploration. It pushes us to see broader horizons and look out for deeper truths. As Mercury goes direct, it allows us to release ourselves from previous miscommunications and mental setbacks, and encourages us to articulate newfound ideas with more clarity and confidence, and invites us to balance the familiar and the new, and and it allows us to nurture both our intellectual curiosity and our need for emotional security. On the 16th of December, the moon enters void of course at 6:34 p.m. So yeah, that's all that happens on the 16th of December. On the 17th of December, the moon enters Cancer at 1:18 p.m. Venus makes a semi-square to Neptune at 9:34. So Venus' semi-square to Neptune happens when Neptune's in Pisces and Venus is in Capricorn, and the moon in Cancer allows us to be more emotionally sensitive and intuitive this week, and that's really good, because we've got a lot of the main energies wanting us to socialise, but also can bring conflict as well. Just allows us to chill out, to nurture ourselves and others, and self-care becomes really paramount, necessary this week. So taking time out to connect with your inner self, to love on yourself, to look at the ways you hurt yourself, maybe by allowing the toxic thoughts to run through your mind, and of course, not blaming you. It can sort of it's inner work, and personal development, it takes a long time, so don't beat yourself up. So it wants us to connect with ourselves around us. We can just be focused on our home life, our family, and it wants us to reflect on our personal relationships and emotional well-being. It's an excellent energy to engage in activities that create comfort and security, such as cooking, spending time with loved ones, or creating a nice warm atmosphere at home. But negatively, Venus' semi-square to Neptune can also make us struggle with illusions or unrealistic expectations, leading to potential misunderstandings or disappointments. And we can also escape into drugs, Netflix and chilling, or any other distractions, alcohol, just anything. I feel like sometimes I just go to drugs and alcohol, the main ones, but anything can be a distraction if you do it too much. It's all about balance. So it's essential to remain grounded, to get help for any issues that we have, to be gentle with ourselves, and it's going to take time to build up to undo our habits, just like it took time to build in our toxic habits and toxic ways of thinking and talking to ourselves and others as well. Try and do your best to communicate openly with others. Just watch out for being sensitive with the moon in Cancer and Venus making a semi-square to Neptune as well. So just make sure don't try and take, someone's being nasty, they're being nasty, but try not to take things to heart, and try to navigate the emotional waters more efficiently, while still embracing the nurturing energy of the moon in Cancer. And it's sort of it's a good time to share with others, share with yourself, and just chill out a bit and give each others grace, but speak up if someone's overstepping your boundaries, and also watch you don't step over other people's boundaries as well. So yeah, on the 18th of December, the Sun makes a square to Neptune, the Moon enters its disseminating moon phase, Mercury makes a parallel to Venus as well. So the Sun square to Neptune lasts for 3 days, leaves us around the 20th of December. The Sun's in Sagittarius and Neptune's in Pisces, and this is exact at 2:29 p.m. today. Mercury's parallel to Venus, what I talked about earlier this week, is exact today at 11:30 p.m. and leaves us on around the 23rd of December. So the Sun square to Neptune adds to the fogginess of yesterday and some of the other energies this week, because Neptune energy can be elusive, mystical, can lead us to confusion, distorted thinking, disillusionment, chaos, and also can make it challenging for us to tell the difference from reality, from fantasy and stuff as well. So we can kind of, find it harder to trust our instincts or the intentions of others. So, try not to get too paranoid, check facts. If you don't feel like you want to sign things like contracts and stuff like that, or anything that's important, have important discussions, as long as you're not gaslighting or avoiding it for, selfish reasons, Of course, if you feel you're going to get too angry or something like that, it's best to walk away and leave it, but we also need to try and confront things head on, but this energy can make it hard for us to do so. So check facts, give yourself grace, give others grace, time out and try to listen and do things to stay grounded. But the best use of this energy is to be creative, to watch films, to create films, poetry, sing, dance, and also just express yourself in a creative way, receive love in a creative way. Also maybe thinking about your toxic thoughts that may go around your head and the origins of those who said that, what experiences have left that residue of you thinking that not that you deserve these thoughts in the moment, but that allow these thoughts to live and maybe drive toxic reactions and actions in your life, So, it's essential to remain vigilant, not to get, swept away, carried away into idealistic thinking, but also to be creative as well, to be open to new sort of experiences and new ways of doing things and solving your problems. That's what I was racking my brain to find. So ground yourself in practical matters if you can. Seek clarity in discussions, and this will sort of help us navigate this hazy, cloudy, unclear energy. And as the moon enters its disseminating moon phase as well, it wants us to reflect on the insights that we've gained during the day, encourages us to share knowledge and experiences, increasing our ability to communicate what we've learned. It's an excellent time to express your feelings and thoughts with others, and this can create deeper connections and understanding. And although the square may stir things up, bringing uncertainty, the energy of the disseminating moon can provide a platform for constructive conversations and healing, helping us to integrate any lessons learned during this emotionally charged time. And it wants us to embrace the opportunity to turn confusion into clarity through honest and shared experiences. On the 19th of December, the moon enters void of course at 2:41 a.m. Venus makes a semi-sextile to Saturn at 5:52 a.m. and Venus makes a contra-parallel to Uranus at 7:15 p.m. and Moon enters Leo at 8:30 a.m. So Venus's semi-sextile to Saturn happens when Venus is in the constellation of Capricorn and Saturn's in the constellation of Aquarius. And this is exact at 5:52 a.m. and Venus's contra-parallel to Uranus that I talked about at the beginning of this week is exact at 7:15 p.m. and leaves us on the 26th of December. So Venus's semi-sextile to Saturn allows us to blend and bring harmony between our need for affection and being responsible. We may find ourselves reflecting on the relationships in our life and assessing what truly brings you joy versus what requires your commitment and discipline. This energy of Venus' semi-sextile to Saturn can just make us feel more stable. We need that with all the Neptune energy and Moon in Cancer on that this week. It allows us to evaluate our values, set the necessary boundaries that we need to maintain healthy connections. It's an ideal time to engage in practical discussions about love and finance. And we may just feel more grounded in our approach to long-term commitments. However, be mindful of any tendency towards criticism or over-seriousness, as this can stifle the warmth and affection that's normally associated with Venus. And the moon's entry into Leo can sort of help us embrace being more self-expressive and creative, be more energetic. It can also bring a desire for recognition and appreciation, pushing us to seek out fun and joyful experiences, which is really good. You need to have some good time, but not too much, because Neptune energy can make us overdo it. But this energy wants us to just chill out a bit and try and look at things, even though it may be hard and a difficult time. This is life. We have the night, we have the dark, so we have the light, so we have good times and bad times. So it wants us just to embrace life a bit more and try and see if you can build or continue to build your resilience to handle the storms times when they come, and it allows us to sign in social settings and share our talents and passions with others, and it wants us to indulge in our individuality and creative plans and bring a balance between seeking external validation and nurturing your own inner sense of self-worth by doing the work to understand your psychological, emotional and spiritual needs and traumas, and researching and seeking out and implementing things into your daily habits to help you live a better life, have better thoughts, do better things, speak in a better way, understand others in a better way, accept who you are, accept your past in a better way, and it allows us to express ourselves more authentically and to, just feel more happy over this time. On the 20th of December, Venus makes a trine with Jupiter and the Sun makes a biquintal with Mars. So Venus's trine to Jupiter happens when Venus is in Capricorn and Jupiter is in Taurus, and is exact at 2:11 AM today. And the Sun's biquintal to Mars happens at 8:29 AM today. And the Sun's in Sagittarius and Mars is in Cancer. So Venus's trine to Jupiter allows us to be more positive and just feel more optimistic in our relationships and financial matters, and we may experience optimism during opportunities for growth from our experiences, learning our lessons, or people coming into our life and just watching something, listening to a podcast, something like that encourages us to be generous both in giving and receiving, making it a wonderful time to strengthen our bonds with loved ones and start new romantic adventures. And Venus's trine to Jupiter allows us to just have those feelings of love even in the hard times, and happiness, and being open to chilling out, relaxing and just giving in to life's pleasures a bit more. But watch out for overindulging and spending all the money that you need for your rent and stuff like that, and just having a good time. Just try and do it in a grounded way, but be open to abundance, to newness as well. The Sun's biquintal to Mars allows us to boost our creativity and drive, inspires us to pursue our goals with a renewed passion. You may feel invigorated to take the initiative or to assert yourself in a way that feels authentic, and this is a favourable time for self-expression where you can channel your energy into projects or activities that inspire you. And by balancing this need for assertiveness with the warmth of Venus and Jupiter, this can help us have beneficial collaborations, teamwork and experiences with others, and we can use this energy of enthusiasm more effectively and in balance with our other needs, like sticking to our routine, meeting our responsibilities, but having fun while doing so as well. So on the 21st of December, the Sun makes a biquintal to Uranus at 7:48 AM. Winter solstice is at 9:21, and the Moon enters void of course at 11:55 AM. So the Sun's biquintal to Uranus allows us to embrace change and being original. It encourages us to break free from our conventional patterns, our day-to-day routine, and explore new ideas and philosophies and beliefs and outlooks and ways of doing things. And we may feel suddenly inspired to think outside of the box of our normal routine and take non-traditional, unconventional new approaches to achieving your goals as well. So it can also make us more confident in expressing our individuality, empowering us to take, courageous, bold steps towards what truly excites us and moves us. And the winter solstice is a time associated with new beginnings and reflection. It's a time of letting go and reflecting and going deep into our emotions, going more introverted as well. But it also allows us to set intentions that align with our authentic self and create a sense of liberation and renewal, and plan for the coming year, which in astrology is the spring equinox on the 20th, 21st of March, most years sometimes on the 22nd. So it wants us to sort of allow ourselves to reflect on what we want and need and plan for newness and let go of the past. And when we sort of tap into the innovative spirit of the Sun and Uranus, that wants us to the high quintile to suddenly go within us and be open to expressing ourselves, empowering ourselves and doing the things that excite us, and remain open to the unexpected, and just being open and being flexible and building resilience to not to change, as in building it so you can go through change instead of resisting. This is how you can move forward and progress in life in this week as well. So yeah, I'm Amani, your holistic astrological life coach. Take care and see you next time. And that's the end of the weekly scopes from the 15th to the 21st of December.